So welcome, welcome your experience as it appears to you, as it is. Relax your body, your mind. And simply be. Being is without being anyone or anything. Awareness, presence. That which is really your experiences, not that which appears and disappears. Images appear and disappear. Thoughts, sensations. There is a knowing element, a knowing quality, awareness. I, awareness. I am throughout all experiences, throughout all mind impressions, throughout all perceptions. I am invisible, the reality of being. It's presence. It's awareness knows itself. Presence knows it is. I know I am. And this knowing element, this knowing aspect is not objective. In other words, a thought is known, but it is not knowing. A thought, an object, a form, a sensation, which is an object, does not know, It is known. The knowing aspect in your experience is non-objective. That which is continuous in your experience, that which is uninterrupted in your experience, is this knowingness, this awareness. It is not the thought which is continuous, or the perception which is continuous, or the sensation which is continuous. That which is continuous is the knowing aspect. Which is uninterrupted. Which is not the result of a perception, the result of a sensation. It is primal, primordial. The perception appears in this knowing element, and it's known as a perception within this element, within this knowing element. Which is the ground of being, the ground of awareness. And there is no personal knower. It's just knowing. Right now there is hearing, perceiving. There is no personal perceiver or knower. Outside of the belief that there is one, in fact, it's just knowing, aware, being, which knows it is and knows that it knows. All forms, all objects are known, are perceived. They appear and disappear. They have a shape, a size, a beginning and ending. But the knowing element has no beginning, no ending. It's not an object, it's not a concept, a form, a thought, a feeling, a sensation. Thoughts, feelings, concepts, sensations are known. I is the knowing element, the knowing aspect. in its essence, this knowing element is peace, freedom, love. What we call life is its creation. The creative aspect of the knowing element is what we call the world, the body, the mind. Like in my dreams, is a creative aspect. Your dreams, like the creative aspects of you, the dreamer. Nothing is happening to you. Nothing is happening to you. This knowing and knowing aspect of being. And yet he plays the game of satsang, the game of parenthood, the game of life, mountains and rivers. And at the heart of all that, it is the knowing element, the knowing aspect of it all. The creator and the knower as one. You are this creator, knower as one. Not you, the body, mind, or what you imagine yourself to be, but you, the reality which right now perceives and hears and is. So if you have any questions, anything that you'd like to discuss, just make sure you unmute yourself. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Magdi. So I'm curious about something. I've heard it said that the process of understanding, and this has been my experience, has been only looking, being absolutely certain that I can find no evidence that I'm a separate consciousness. And I'm curious about the divide between that and then flipping over into trying to find evidence that I am a universal consciousness. Could you speak about that?
Mm-hmm. So if you imagine that you're a unicorn and you investigate this belief that you're a unicorn, and you become free of this belief that you're a unicorn, becomes really clear to you that you're not a unicorn, then that belief drops away. What remains is you as you are. We don't replace the belief I'm a unicorn with, oh, I'm a person, or now I am a sage, or I'm a spiritual person, or I'm the false falls away. What remains is truth. So effortlessly, when the belief that I'm a separate person, a separate limited consciousness, when that falls away, then there is a relaxation in the mind, which has been for so long sort of humming around this belief, oh, I am somebody, what's going to happen to me tomorrow, what happened to me yesterday, what is she going to do to me, am I gonna, she gonna do to me, am I, whatever, that hum, how do you say it quiets down, and what remains is that which you are, awareness, consciousness, peace, whatever, it doesn't matter, the word. It's similarly like the feeling that, oh, I'm located, I'm limited, I'm here, I'm here inside this body, inside this room, inside this skin, whatever. That also that feeling in time, it also it's no longer maintained, because it's connected to the belief that I'm a limited self, a limited person, limited consciousness. It's connected, that feeling of limitation, of selfhood, of location, also relaxes, and one could say it sort of expands into beyond those limitations, beyond those illusory cocoon. It becomes porous, the cocoon becomes porous. And what remains is the, let's say, the vastness of being, the peace of being, the freedom, the wholeness, and what that doesn't. So the inquiry into the belief that I refers to some limited form that exists, in a limited way somewhere. The contemplation of this belief is crucial contemplation, and you don't need to contemplate that I am, universal. That, in a way, the default state, the natural state, is always there. It's like the wide open sky is infinite. It's not blue, it's not a black, it has no color, it's infinite. It doesn't become infinite when the clouds part. When the clouds part, it's revealed that it's colorless and shapeless and formless and infinite. So the reality that right now perceives that is infinite. But natural, its natural state is what it is. Is what it is. And everything that you experience is not separate from consciousness. It's not separate from the endless, the isness of the world and the endless of consciousness are not two. There isn't, in fact, like an actual divide in our experience between awareness and the world, perception. There isn't an actual divide or an actual separation or distance between awareness, which is our experience, and the world, which is perception. When you look at your experience, you'll find there are not two. There aren't two. So conceptually, say the mountain, the river, the table, the car, which is the way of classifying our perception, our experience, which is okay. It serves a certain purpose. But our experience of the world is not that it's actually something out there, which is called a car or a tree, and consciousness or awareness is here, which is called me. But it's not actually our experience. You have to take a look at them, examine that the world, meaning perception, in the body, meaning sensation, the mind, meaning thoughts, emotion, are not apart from awareness. And that which is eternal or constant in our experience is awareness. It's on the form of a thought, a memory, image, a river. It remains what it is. It's the wholeness. So another way is to look at our experience. There is a reality for our experience. There's not something rather than nothing. There's some reality, a reality for our experience, even though our experience may be a dream. I don't know. There's a reality that perceives. And this reality is I, that is I. Not the body, not the eyes, not the I. I is I consciousness, I awareness, I presence. and there is one God.
Well, what I'm starting to see as you're speaking is, I think, part of the impulse I was feeling, or the divide I was feeling was, or what's clear now is, if I try to go into defining what I am, it's impossible. I'm getting into conceptual realm.
Yes.
The mind can't go there.
Right.
And yet I have this instinct, I have this knee-jerk reaction to try to do that.
Yes.
Something in me is still saying, oh, it'd be so much easier if I could just say, this is what I am.
Yes.
And instead, in my actual experience, I'm only getting up to the point where I'm saying, I know I'm not, there's no evidence that I'm not that. And then I just want to get into the part of saying, well, then this is what I am, and I can't go there.
Yes.
Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The mind operates in forms objectively. So when the mind is faced with, okay, there is no evidence that consciousness, awareness, the reality that perceives right now is limited to the body mind or exists within the body mind or is a result of brain activity. There's no evidence of that. And it says, okay, I got that. Okay, now let me define in some way or another what this awareness consciousness is, which is so the thought gets active. There is an activity of thought trying to sort of formulate consciousness. But it's already been formulated. Consciousness is I, awareness, presence. But so then the man says, well, okay, well, wait a minute. What exactly is this awareness? I mean, I'd like to know. So, thing to comprehend about thought, the activity of thought, is that thought is in movement. It's the movement of consciousness. It appears within consciousness. And the reality of the thought is that one reality, which is your consciousness. So thought is in movement. And the reality of that movement is consciousness. Because there's one reality. Whichever way you flip it, you're going to come back to consciousness. So thought moving as consciousness, consciousness moving as thought is playing the game of, okay, I got it. There is no evidence that I am limited or I'm dependent on the body mind. Okay, let me now play the game of formulating, having some formulation. Yeah. So it's consciousness playing all games. Right? It's in your night dream. It's you dreaming all the dreams, whatever dream they are, flying, diving, traveling, whatever games there are in your night dreams. You are the player. You are the creator and the perceiver of these dreams. So similarly here, it's a play of consciousness. Consciousness. Oh, well, yeah, I get it, but all right. Let me do something more. And so then there is the engagement of thoughts and feelings, and while all along, awareness is, consciousness is. It's the shining light, as a way of speaking, onto every thought, every sensation, every feeling that you're having. The shining light upon it, or as a way of speaking, of course, is consciousness. So it's there. Consciousness is. You can't know a thought without consciousness. It's consciousness that is the knowing element, the knowing aspect. So you see what I mean? It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yes. It's as if, okay, we get it that consciousness reality is being is, and that there is no evidence that being is dependent on a body, mind, on a thought, on a feeling, on a sensation, on a perception, on a brain activity. I get it. but I still want to play the game of me discovering something. But there is no me. So consciousness is playing the game of me. It's playing Santa Claus, whatever. It's playing the tooth fairy. Oh, okay, now let me still play the game of me discovering something about me.
Yeah. And the key that I just heard that really highlighted in what you just said was the something. It's really clear to me now what's happening is my mind is trying to make it objectify consciousness and say, okay, now I got it.
Yes.
That's really helpful. And yes, and that I as a separate one am doing it, but I wasn't aware of that. It's just this knee-jerk impulse to take it one step farther and say, okay, now yeah.
Because there is nothing to get and no one to get anything.
Yeah.
But the mind, habitually is into the getting business. Oh, I got it, I didn't get it. I got it, I didn't get it. But getting it is more like a deep understanding that there is nothing to get, that already all is this one mystery of consciousness, presence, beingness. And life is its play, its display to itself, of course, to itself. It's that which perceives is always the I, the only reality that perceives. And this sort of like really, how would you say, really honor this understanding or own this understanding. And no, not really own, to sort of allow this understanding to sort of sink into itself. You're okay, perfectly okay with your understanding that there is no evidence whatsoever that there is a relative personal consciousness, and that to be just completely okay with that. So to be like a full, I know it's not the right word, but the full ownership of this understanding, the full honoring of this understanding. Which sometimes we talk about this being not known. So just really honor being not known. Not knowing is truer than knowing. More is not knowing is the openness. That's the universal. That's the big picture. And the smaller picture, the mind trying to sort of, oh, well, Batman.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Any questions?
Hey, Magdi.
Hello, Rosa.
Yeah, I've been going through some really interesting things lately, and I find that I'll get to the point where I'm just stopped going, wow, I'm aware that there's no this or there's no that. And I'm just right there, and I start feeling I can hear the thoughts that, well, you don't want to go all the way there. You know, I like, you're gonna lose the me.
Mhm.
And I struggle with that, and I feel like I've been here before to this point in my life too, and I just like, no, I'm not gonna go there. But on, Saturday, I had this day of complete bliss, and it was not caused by any condition or anything like that. I just woke up in the morning, and I've been suffering a lot, since my partner died and all that kind of stuff. So I've been, I've had 3 months of a lot of suffering, and I woke up on Saturday, and it was just bliss, and I just meandered from one thing to another, and it was like no thought. And then Sunday was sort of like that, and I kept being aware of there or this or that, and I just get like frightened or something, where I say, no, the me, what about the me? You're going to get lost. There's something's going to happen to you.
Yes.
So does that make sense?
Yes. Rosa. Right. So but there is awareness. So yes, you hear how it can be sort of maybe scary that there is no this and there is no that and there is no me, but there is awareness, and that our experience, even the experience of there is no this or no that appears in awareness. Awareness is primordial. It's always on. There is no off switch. There is no off switch to awareness. So images, thoughts, feelings, sensations, feelings of me or no me, fears, emotions, whatever form of emotions, they appear within awareness. They're like on the surface of the pond. Or sometimes there is a wind, and there are little wavelets that say, "Oh my God, there are no wavelets. What's happening? What's happening to me? Nothing's happening because the pond is there. The pond without waves is still there. Is still there, and the waves is the pond making. Is a pond making it waving, or there is such a verb, the pond waving. So there is no me, or there is no this or no that. They're just thoughts and sensations and emotions appearing in awareness. Awareness is your ongoing 24/7 experience. Now, an image appears to you and it's scary. Oh my God, it's scary. But it's just a wave. A wave, 5-foot wave arose. What happened to the waves? The wave arises and subsides. Like all phenomenal experiences, all thoughts, all feelings, they appear and disappear. All thoughts, all emotions, all bodily sensations, they appear. They have a wave up and then a wave down. But the pond remains. It's all water. It's all the pond. So, in time, you would come to understand that these emotions, they're just movements of awareness. It's just awareness dancing, like like the surface of the ocean, dancing. In time, you come to understand that there's nothing happening to the ocean. There's nothing happening to water. It's just the dance. And so then it becomes less scary. It becomes less scary because you're no longer experiencing that there is that a wave is a problem, is something. Oh my God, look at this big wave. Or what's going to happen to the ocean? Nothing. Now, what is going to happen to me? What is going to happen to me is as scary. The thought, what's going to happen to me, is what's scary. But when you take a look at the me, you find that the me is some sort of belief or feeling, an old quotes unquote friend, maybe not such a friend, an old habit, that you've been so living with it for so long that it's now became sort of, it took a reality of its own. This me took a reality of its own. But in fact, there is no me, there's just awareness. It's
Right.
awareness. Awareness perceives a thought that says me, oh, I am this, I am that, an image, a me image, or a bundle of images, or a me feeling, or a me story, it's just appears in awareness. The reality of the me, of this me story, is awareness. You take awareness out of a story, and there is no more story.
Right.
You take awareness out of a feeling, out of an emotion. What's an emotion without awareness? Nothing. Awareness is actually your experience. Awareness is your reality. Not the thoughts and the feelings and the events in the world and things that happen in your family, in your life, in your body, in your neighborhood. All of these are like wavelets on the surface of the planet. It is the universe of consciousness playing the game of life and death and birth and rebirth and birth and death and old age and gain and loss and blah 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 blah. It's consciousness play. The sunshine, the rain, the hurricanes, the gravity, the galaxies. You look at the night sky, and it's like zillions of galaxies and space, and it's a wonder of wonders. All of that is the play of consciousness. Is one reality. One reality, and that reality has no name. It's not called Magdi or Rochelle, or it's not a female reality or a male reality. So, as you continue to contemplate that there is a reality, and this reality is I consciousness, and that this reality is not located. There's no evidence it's located in the brain, in the body, in the house, it's not a result. It's not a result of some brain activity. It's not a result of the body breathing. It is not the result of, these are beliefs. Once you contemplate that there is a reality by experience, and that reality is I awareness, I consciousness, whatever that is, the reality that perceives, the reality that is. And that there is one reality. Then the fear of something else subsides.
Yeah, because I do flip. It's funny when I have the times where I feel like the me is dropped, and then I become aware of the me that's dropped, or the thought comes into my head, wow, you've just been doing things, and the me is, dropped. And then all of a sudden I get scared that I'm going to fall from grace. I'm like, wait a minute, and then suddenly I'm afraid that I'm going to go, it's not going to stick. It's like, oh, wait a minute. And then, so that's the two opposite points of where the fear arises, where I'm going, okay, well, the doubt's going to come in, and I'm going to, the me is going to rise up. And then when I'm a me, and the I'm becoming aware of the consciousness of who I am, then the fear comes on the opposite side of, wait a minute, what's going to happen? You know,
Yes.
I feel like and then the me says, well, you need to surrender. And then I'm like, well, but how do I surrender? I don't know how to surrender. You know, I mean, I think I'm surrendering. I mean, I'm asking questions. And then I say, who is the one who fears, you know, and then but it's fear on both sides, which is, I don't know if both sides is the right way to word it, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes. See, the understanding that the me appears to you as thoughts, images, and feelings. It appears within consciousness. The understanding that, for example, right now I'm thinking what's going to happen to me, that in fact this is just a thought and a sensation arising within awareness. That understanding, you need to visit this understanding over and over and over until you become familiar with the ground awareness, the ground of being, which is unmoved, unstirred, unaffected by the images that appear within it. And initially, you know, you get a glimpse that, oh, well, there is no me. And that glimpse is a freeing glimpse. In that glimpse, you're free from the burden of being a me and worrying about me and all of that. But very quickly, that the next thing is, oh, well, what's going to happen to me now that there is no me?
Right.
So the habit of going back to the me initially is a strong habit. Even when you get a glimpse that there is no me, wonderful. Oops. The habit of referring to, oh, well, what's going to happen to me if there is no me, and how am I going to hold? Am I going to be able to hold on? Am I me? Is me going to be able to hold on to the understanding that there is no me? Is, right. So that habit, in time, that habit weakens. It diminishes, because every time that there is an understanding about consciousness, about awareness, that there is no me, it's just being, it's just there it is. Here I am. Here isness is. The more there is this understanding, the more the peace of our true nature is revealed. It'll take whatever iterations it will take, but it's bound. Once that understanding about the reality of consciousness, and that consciousness is not personal or limited, it's not a meeting, it's just there, it's just this open awareness, effortless awareness, God's awareness, universal awareness, whichever way you want to speak it. The more there is a sense of that and a feeling of that and an experience of that, the more there is a feeling of freedom and peace and a familiarity. It takes a while to become familiar with that peace, with that causeless peace. Because the mind once imagines peace in grabbing onto something. I need to hold on to something, and that's my salvation. I need to hold on to something. Right. Whatever. Give me anything, but don't leave me empty-handed.
Yeah.
Give me something to grab onto that I can, bite my, like dog with a bone. I can gnaw on it. I can give me something to gnaw on, because that's what maintains me. I've got something to do. I've got something to sort of figure out, something to solve, and a negative emotion to free myself from, a no me to hold on to. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was having the feeling of no me, like on Saturday when it was that causeless piece, I recognized something different about that I wasn't as afraid of losing it. It was I was more at peace with being peaceful. I guess that makes sense. But
Right. Yeah.
uh yeah, because before I mean there would be like this fear that literally like falling from grace, like no, it's like, why hast thou forsaken me kind of thing, as soon as I went back into the me and was very engaged in the me. But this time when I was back, coming back to be more identified with the me, the mind wants to go, to figure out how to surrender, like what does the act of surrendering look like? How
Yeah.
do I?
Yeah. It's interesting when the mind is asking, how do I surrender? Two things about that. One is that the mind is looking for an activity, something to do, which is going to call surrender. While surrendering is basically a non-activity. Surrendering is, here you are as presence. Presence is already surrendered, as a way of speaking, surrender. It's not trying to get somewhere, to get something, to defend. When you're trying to defend something or to get somewhere, or you're dissatisfied with the situation, I wouldn't call that surrender, right? That's not surrender. That's, resisting, seeking, arguing, wanting, desiring.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I don't like it because I feel like sometimes I even think, what's wrong with me that I can't surrender?
Yes, but the nature of me is the process of seeking and resisting. So the me is the activity of seeking and resisting. So when the me says, I want to surrender, it's a fake thing.
Yeah.
Because how could the activity of seeking and resisting want to surrender? No, it's by its very definition, the me is the activity of resisting. Oh, this shouldn't be like this. He shouldn't have done this to me. This shouldn't have happened to me. Resisting and seeking. Oh, I need to get there. I need to get that. I need to, in order to be happy. So there is a contradiction in. Is it like a play of mirrors? When the me says, "Well, I'd like to figure out how to really surrender." It's a little bit of a hoax.
Yeah, it is. It's making me really laugh right now. It's funny.
Right. It's just wants something. It's desiring something. Okay, I have a new desire now. I want to know how to surrender. But it's actually a desire. It's something that I want. It's a seeking. Because surrender is not an activity. Surrender is a form of relaxation. It's a.
Yeah, I know. I want to force it.
Yeah, right. I want to, do the effort to be effortless. There is effortlessness in surrender. I don't like the word surrender too much. I like more the word of being. Because being is alive. Surrender is like there is something that you have to surrender or else, or something like that, and some sense of danger. But being is it's already relaxed.
Gentle. It feels gentle to me.
It feels what?
Gentle.
Yes, yes.
Where being feels gentle, where the word surrender feels like, yeah, let's do
Yeah,
something.
right.
Fight.
Yes,
It's like kind of thing. Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
contemplate just being. Contemplate just being. Well, being already is, meaning I am already is, right? I mean, the I is. I mean, there is awareness and there is presence. Awareness and presence already are. Already. Right now. Awareness is. Being is.
Well, thank you.
So it's already on deck, you know what I mean? It's already on board.
Yeah.
It's already done deal. You know, what the mind is desiring is already done deal. It's already there. Being already is. The same. And being is not seeking, is not trying to become a better, I'm going to try to figure out how to improve being or how to improve awareness. No, that's something else. That's just the activity of thought and the me activity.
Right.
Being is. So it's a relaxing as being. It's alive. Being is alive. It's not like an empty, no, it's alive. Being is alive. Right now, there is this conversation, and this conversation is a form of being.
Shh. Shh. Sorry, my dog's starting to act up.
Okay.
Okay. Uh-oh. Shh.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Well, lovely to be with you. Thank you, Holger, and Rochelle, Lomina, and Samishiba. Thank you all.